Donald Trump is trying to block states from passing laws to protect you and people you love from AI. He wants to stop any laws that would put some restrictions on chatbots that encourage people to hurt themselves, or on AI that is price fixing, or on laws that keep huge data centers from raising your electricity costs. So what happened? Well, last week, Donald Trump signed an executive order that tried to stop any state laws that limit AI. You may remember that a version of this was voted on by the Senate, and it was voted down in the Senate by 99-1. Why? Because it's bad for kids, bad for workers, bad for consumers, and bad for local economies. It's bad for anyone who isn't a big tech CEO. Right now, the federal government isn't doing a ton on regulating AI, but that doesn't mean that AI doesn't need rules. Like, I've heard from plenty of parents who worry about what AI could mean for their kids. I've seen reports showing how companies use AI to artificially increase prices. People all across the country are trying to grapple with what it means to have a data center right there in their backyard. People are worried about the impact of AI on their jobs. I think a lot of us can agree that AI has tremendous potential, but like all powerful technology, it should have some checks and balances on it. So let me give you some examples of why we might need regulation. Have you ever used Instacart to order your groceries? An incredible new investigation was released last week by Groundwork Collaborative, Consumer Reports, and More Perfect Union that showed companies are using AI to charge different prices to different customers who are buying the same product at the same store at the same time.
We're in the same room, the same address ordering, and we still had different prices.
Some people were charged about $114 for the 20 items. Others, nearly $124.
This wasn't in one or two cases. This was the lion's share of shoppers for the lion's share of items.
The company calls it AI for everyday price performance. The website promises 2 to 5% profit increases. Companies are investing millions into systems designed to outsmart you. Testing, learning, finding the maximum profit.
The holy grail for a long time has been, what if we could charge every single person the maximum amount that we know they're able to or willing to pay?
This kind of thing doesn't seem like it should be allowed, right? Well, that's where regulation comes in, because the way that AI is being weaponized doesn't only show up at Instacart. I opened an investigation years ago into a company called RealPage that used an AI algorithm to illegally jack up your rent. Yep. RealPage's software was built in a way that allegedly helped landlords collude on rent prices.
Tonight, the Justice Department expanding a lawsuit against RealPage, accusing the software company of coordinating with landlords to pool non-public tenant data and coordinate to keep rents artificially high. Now adding 6 of the largest U.S. landlords and property managers to the suit, representing more than 1.3 million units in 43 states and D.C. Many landlords use RealPage to help set rental prices and manage occupancy.
And one more, utility prices. I don't know about you, but I've seen a lot of alarming reports lately about how tech companies are building these giant data centers loaded with computer servers that suck up huge amounts of electricity and then passing on the costs of building the new power generators and transmission lines directly to families. Basically, their enormous energy usage is jacking up your electricity bills. Look, your family and your neighbors could be bankrolling the electricity costs of trillion-dollar tech companies. And what do you get from this deal? Having a data center in your backyard that increases your electricity costs and also uses up your local water supplies? A Microsoft rep even said that part out loud, quote, "Nobody really wants a data center in their backyard." Well, no kidding. But these big tech companies are charging ahead and your costs are going up. These are the kind of problems that state and local governments should be able to tackle. Donald Trump doesn't see it that way, or more like Trump's big tech buddies don't see it that way. Why? They don't want anyone, not the federal government, not state government, to get in the way of these tech giants getting richer and richer and richer. So Trump and his tech buddies hatched a plan. Trump signed this executive order to target state laws that protect their own citizens from these tech giants. But here's the part they aren't accounting for. A lot of people think Trump legally just can't do that, and he probably can't. The president should be helping lower costs for families. He's literally doing the opposite. He's making it easier for these companies to squeeze and cheat working people. You know, it makes me wonder, is this what the big tech CEOs are getting in exchange for paying for Trump's golden-crusted ballroom? Because I got to tell you, it sure looks like that. Billionaire tech CEOs in Donald Trump's Washington, they swing a lot of weight. Here's one more example. Just last week, President Trump announced he would greenlight the company Nvidia to sell its advanced chips to China. Now, these chips are really valuable and really hard to get a hold of. The Chinese military has been after them for years. And Trump's own Department of Justice has called these chips building blocks of AI superiority. Experts and many members of President Trump's administration agree that China gaining access to these chips poses a serious threat to our technological leadership and our national security. But Nvidia's CEO knows how to play Trump. He attended a $1 million a plate dinner with the president. His company donated to the president's ballroom. And he had a behind closed doors meeting with Trump where who knows what else he might have promised. And bam, now you got the president okaying the sale of these high-powered chips to China and putting our national security on the line, all for this billionaire CEO. Look, whether you love AI or you hate it or you're not sure how you feel about it yet, I think we should all agree that there should be some rules of the road, especially when it comes to protecting people. And I think we can all agree that we shouldn't be selling a key building block for AI to the Chinese military. Even some Republicans in Congress admit that these things are wrong. And that means now is the time to call out Trump and to push Congress and the states to block his actions.